Well, it's raining out. And I've had quite a few people ask me what I run in my tractors as far as fluids in general. And I'm going to tell you what I run now. I don't expect people to agree with me. I don't expect people to disagree with me. Quite frankly, I don't care. They're my machines and this is what I run. So I got the A sitting here and I need to change the switch. I did burn a switch out in that. I have several to replace it with. And one guy got a hold of me and he says, oh, I just bought a Super A. A couple guys, but really one in particular, just bought a Super A. I'm wondering what oil you run, what rear end fluid. He's got a Super A, so what hydraulic oil and so on and so forth. And there's a couple of them that are the same, pretty much like the H in the M. In the rear end, most people start at the front, we'll start at the back. Let's pretend this is an M. It's raining out, so I'm not going to go out and stand beside the M. The M's still hooked up to the 510 grain drill, but that's besides the point. In the rear ends of those tractors, I run the cheapest stuff money can buy. Usually Tractor Supply crap, 5 gallons at a pop. And what that does is it makes me change it more often. Because I can tell you what happens, man. You spend a lot of money on rear end fluid, and it's a lot less encouraging to change it. But when you're paying the least amount, of course, the least amount is still the most amount nowadays. But the M, the H, I go cheap. This I went cheap in the rear end. Where I don't negotiate in a non-hydraulic tractor like this is the engine oil. Low ash, man. I do use the low ash. If there's never been an overhaul, I do use low ash. I don't use the detergent. I don't know, a lot of guys, they get their tractors, they drop the pan down, check the pan, a lot of sludge in there, sludge in the oil. Detergent cleans stuff up. That's, what you wash your clothes with. So I don't recommend that if you know that the engine's been overhauled. And that's a really good time, by the way, when you do an overhaul on an engine, is to put it on a different oil right then and right there. And I would recommend it. Now, the Rotella T4 turns out is low ash. I don't run most of these tractors in the winter, so it doesn't matter if I'm running a heavy oil in them. Now, there's some debate about multi-viscosity oils. They break down faster than just singular, like say 30 weight. But in that one there, I'm running the 1540 Rotella low ash, and I'm running it on 80-90 degree days, and I'm torquing that sucker out. I got a set of 14s behind it, and I still haven't got those painted up, but I will. And so a heavier oil doesn't bother me. If you're running these tractors in -6 degree weather, then a heavier oil's not going to be what you want. I don't. There's one tractor that runs in the winter, and that's the 55 Cub. And he told me right out of the gate, I asked him, I says, what are you running in this? He says 1030. And that's a lighter oil. And so I've continued to run 1030 in it, assuming that the engine has been overhauled. A lot of these machines are 70 and 80 years old. And if they haven't been overhauled, that's a testament to Farmall International itself. So now the Super C and the Cubs, they kind of fall into their own category. The same engine oil is the same oil that I use for hydraulics. Like if I use 30 weight goes into the hydraulics, and that's Princess Leia there. And then this one over here, that's got high tran in it, but I haven't ran it a whole bunch, so I haven't been worried about it. But before I do, that's got to be flushed out of there, and then 30 weight has to be put in there in case somehow, some way it works its way into the engine, and then you're not running that engine on high tran, which is a 10 weight oil. But yeah, it's pretty simplistic. This is an exception to the rule because, you know, calls for high tran. But, you know, if this was, you know, an M, I go cheap rear end fluid, what, 80, 90. I have been running the low ash 30 weight in them. This one here, again, I run the Rotella low ash 1540. I know guys are in panic mode, but I'm here to tell you, man, a heavy oil on a 95-degree day, pulling a heavy set of discs, does not hurt these tractors. It's just a myth that it does. But if you're gonna overhaul the engine, you pick and choose the oil. I would get away from the low ash personally, unless you're gonna run the Rotella. But the low ash straight 30 weight, getting harder to come by around here. I don't know if it has more to do with the dealership than it does the fact that they're not making it anymore. I don't know. I haven't really researched it, but I do plan on switching all these eventually over to Rotella. So yeah, that's pretty much how it works around here. And as far as gas, all these tractors get non-ethanol. It just saves so much down the road on the carburetors. I've had so much bad luck with ethanol fuel. And this one, again, hasn't run a whole bunch. Does have a full tank. Yeah, every once in a while, you know, if it, like let's say this sits all spring and summer, I'll throw some seafoam in there before I fire it up, just to save me from spitting and getting. But yeah, if you want to save your carbs, run non-eth in these. And a lot of you, the way I understand it, you don't have access to non-ethanol fuel, but I do, and that's what I do. It is a rainy day out today. I'm gonna go check the corn. I think it's over my head now. It's been about a week, but I'm not taking you guys with me. And on a rainy day, I like to wear my rainy boots, rain day boots. And these are cows here. And the thing I like about them, at least in the summertime, is that they're low shin high. And I've been wearing these all day, and my feet are not sweating at all. And that's what I like about them. Good traction, good tread on bottom. They're inexpensive. I don't like to use the word cheap, but they're inexpensive. And I'll leave a link down below if you're interested in picking you up a pair. Because I can tell you, I don't know, depends on where you live, I guess, but rainy seasons are coming. And you're gonna need some rain boots, also known as barn boots.